So for the head, you are going to start by replacing the files, then setting the rigs. So we are going to start with the face. So I'm just going to go back to my file here, then let's select the face. Now I'm also going to group the face with this with this shadow. So you can just select both, then Ctrl G to group. Now I'm going to drag these two. I'm going to drag the face into this face here. Then I'm going to place it where necessary. I think this place. So I'm going to delete the previous one. Then let's place it where. Okay, I'm thinking that's where I want it. Now, we need to create the forehead. You see, this is the forehead, and this is the back hair, and this is the supporting hair there. I'm taking the so these are supporting hair. So we need to split our character's hair like that too. So is a male. That means we just need the forehead and the back hair. But if you are working on female, you can add third party's hair, the supporting hair there. So let's create our forehead from what we have there. So I'm just going to be cutting. Yeah, I'm going to be cutting. Yeah, I'm going to be cutting this forehead with the face so that we can get this and use this as the back hair. So let's duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate the back hair, then duplicate this face without the shadows. Then let's bring it down. We are going to bring it above the duplicated back hair. So click on this icon here. So you are going to get your forehead, and this is going to serve as the back hair. So now I'm going to just replace the forehead. So just press Ctrl Z. Then I'm going to click on the forehead. Then let's drag this in. So I'm going to delete the previous, and for the back hair as well, let's drag the back hair in. Then I'm going to delete the previous one. Okay, so there's this back hair too, so let's delete that as well. And this front hair, these two, so you can just delete the folders as well because we are not needing them. So this is what we just need. So I'm going to set the character. Let's start with this, and let's set the character's hair. So I'm just going to be using my move key. So they are not right where I want them. I think I'm just going to leave them like this, and let's place these two and make sure it's actually perfect. So you can use Ctrl T and make sure it's perfect. Now we can start. Now let's replace the ears and eyes and mouth and everything here. So let's start with this ear. So I'm going to delete the previous right ear and the left ear. We are going to copy it with the earpiece there. So let's just drag it into the left ear and delete the previous one. So now for the eyes, I'm just going to click on the eye. So this eye, it has the iris, then the eye, and it also has a marks. It also has a marks for each sprite of the eyes. You know that we have a lot sprites here. Like we have the normal open eye, which is this. Then we have the closed eye. So for the normal open eye, so it has this, the iris, the white eye, and the marks. So then you have to go to the next eye and edit that. So I'm just going to click Ctrl Z. Then let's replace the iris. So click on the iris and select the iris here. Then let's go drag this in. I'm just going to place it there. I'll be adjusting them later, and delete the previous one for the eye white as well. So this is going to serve as the eye white. Then this is going to serve as the eye white. Then drag it in. Then click on OK and delete the previous. Now for the marks, we are going to be using the eye white for the marks. So I'm going to go back to my character and see how I layered this eye. Okay, I think it's going to be somewhere here. So let's go back to Photoshop and set that. Okay, so the eye is going to be there. I'm going to bring this up. Then set the hair as well. So I'm going to bring this left ear folder, this left ear, I'm going to bring it below the face. You know, this is the face and it's having some unexplainable error there. So this left ear, bring it below the face, so you see you have it where you want it. Now I'm going to click Ctrl Z so that I can know how I place the ear. So we still need to cut this. I made mistake. Yeah, we need to cut it with the air so that it can give us this effect. Or should we leave it? I think let's leave it. So let's bring the air where it belongs. Okay, so I'm going to be setting this one to with this air. So bring it here as well. Then we know where the eyes is going to be. So let's, for the second eye as well, let's set that. So click on the iris. Then let's drag this iris into. So select this. No, we want the iris. So let's drag it into Photoshop and replace it there. So delete the previous one, and for the eye white as well, let's drag this eye white and replace it. Then I'm going to delete the previous one. Now I'm talking about the marks. I want to make sure that in the perfect location before I work on the marks. So let's set this to be perfect with that as well. Okay, so now I think they are perfect, but they are not at the centers. They are not at the center. So I'm going to select the 4. So this is the 4. I'm going to place them at the center. Okay, I think they are where they are supposed to be. I'm going to like use this to, I think they need to come down a little. Yeah, if we use this, oh, they need to come down a little. So I'm just going to bring them down here. Okay, I think they're in the perfect place now. Now for each marks, we are going to just be duplicating this eye white. So click on one eye white, then for its marks we just need to duplicate this and bring it into the marks folder and delete the previous one. So we are going to do it for this as well. Duplicate, you can use Ctrl J or drag it down here for duplicate, then drag it into the marks folder and delete the previous one. So you can hide it or just leave it. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to close the folder so that the layering is going to look good. It's not going to look okay. Now for the eyebrow, or before we set the eyebrow, let's set the other sprite of the eye. So I'm just going to click on the eye, then close this. Now this is the normal eye open. Now I'm going to hide this, and you can see this is the scare close. So this is the scare close. So I'm just going to look for, I think this is it. So it's actually this. So I think this is it. Let me check if I can see. Let's see, eye close, then you can unhide. Okay, that's eye close. Let me unhide it back. Now scare close. Okay, this is actually when you unhide the smile close. This is the scare close. Okay, now eye squint. I'm not sure if I don't have rig for that. So you can just delete this eye squint and iris change. You can delete both folder because I don't have rig for it and I think I don't need it. So I'm just going to delete both. Now let's start with, after the normal, let's start with the smile close. So I'm going to hide that. So let's start with the smile open. So we are looking for this, then okay, this is it. I'm just going to drag this into our Photoshop and place them where it's needed to be here. So I'm not sure I drag it into the perfect place. Okay, make sure you click on it so that it can be in the perfect place. So just make sure you drag it into the, and delete the previous one. We are going to be doing the same thing for the marks. You like duplicate it, then put it, but I'm going to make sure it's in perfect place yet before I do that. So first I'm going to bring this new eye sprite up above the normal so that I can know where it actually belongs. Okay, I think it's great there. So you can just bring it back into its folder, then duplicate it and drag it into the marks folder. So I think we are done with the smile open there. It doesn't have an iris, so we don't need to do that. Now for the eye close, this is the eye close. Now I'm just going to look for the eye close sprite here. Then I'm going to drag it into Photoshop and replace it. So I'm going to make sure it's in the perfect place and delete the previous one. It's not actually in the perfect place. So let's just work on it like this. Okay, I think it's in perfect place now. So you can just duplicate it and drag it into the marks folder, delete the previous marks as well. So we are done with this eye close. Now for the scare close, so let's go back to Illustrator and drag this in. So this is the scare close, drag it in. Okay, I think it's in perfect place, but I'm going to shift it up a little. Delete the previous one. You can just bring it above the normal so that you can see where you actually place it. Then drag it back into its folder. And for the marks, duplicate put it into the marks folder and delete the previous marks. So for the other eyes as well, eyes as well, let's say that we are going to start with the smile close. Then let's replace that. I forgot the character image. Okay, smile close. And okay, this is it. Then I'm going to drag it in. And make sure it's in the right folder, delete the previous one, and into the marks, then delete the previous marks. So we are done with the scare close like that. And for the eye close, drag it in. So make sure it's in the perfect place and delete the previous and the marks. So for the scare close, that's the last part I have here. So drag it as well and make sure it's in the perfect place and delete this, duplicate this and put it into the marks. So I need to delete these two because I don't need them. You can actually work on them if you want. So now we've done the play, like adding the eye sprite. So I'm just going to save. Then let's work on the eyebrows. So for the left eyebrow, so let's drag this in. I'm going to change this back. Now drag the eyebrow into so I think I'm putting it here. You can put it down a little bit, and for the other eyebrow, then I didn't put it in the perfect place, so delete this and select this. Now I'm going to drag. You can use Ctrl+C to know what you are dragging. Then delete this. Okay, so I need to place this. Then you can shift this and shift these two. Now I'm going to say for the nose as well, I think we have two nose rigs here. Okay, we have only one. So we need the nose in this side, facing this side. So my nose is actually facing this side, so I need it to face. I need the nose to face this side, so I'm just going to use my objects transform reflect vertical, then click on OK. It's not actually going to duplicate. So let's drag it in. And put it there, delete the previous one. And when you scroll up, you are going to find that there's this left folder here. This is actually the center folder for the face. Now once you click on it, you only see the nose, Now we need to duplicate our nose So let's duplicate this and drag it into that folder. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's the folder. So I'm going to drag it there, but I'm going to flip it to the other side. So you can just go to image or edit, then transform, flip vertical, you know, flip horizontal. So flip horizontal, then I'm going to drag it here. So I'm going to hide that back. Then I think the next thing we need to do here is actually the mouth. So this is not where I want to place the mouse. Also the nose, I want to shift them up so that our character can look younger. So shift the nose up, and you can close this and hide this. So I'm just closing the folder so that you can use the mouth. We need to work on the mouth now. So just click on the mouse. Like the mouth also have different sprites as the eyes, but it doesn't have the eye something and the marks. So this is actually simple, but it's actually a lot. So we just have to start replacing. So I'm going to start with the normal, and let's drag this into Photoshop, and I'm going to place it somewhere here. Then okay, and delete the previous one. So let's go to the next folder, which is the smile open. So the next folder, which is the smile open. So this will I've already changed the name here. So you don't have to be looking for what looks like the smile open. So let's drag the smile open into Photoshop, and I'm going to place it there and delete the previous one. So this poker lip, let's look for that. Okay, this is actually representing two stuff, poker lip and WOO. So let's drag this in. Let's make sure it's in the center and delete the previous one. So you can just unhide all this. So when you are done, you can unhide them. Then open lip as well. I'm looking for the open lip. Let's drag this in. So delete the previous one. Then for the show teeth as well, so delete the previous one and unhide it. For mouth open, so you can just delete the previous one and hide this. Now we need to replace the normal here, so I'm just going to duplicate that and bring it down into the normal, then hide that. Now we need AI, like AHI. This actually sounds, so can okay, so let's drag that in and place it where it's going to be. Then delete this and unhide this. For the OH sound, for the O, so drag this in and delete the previous and hide this. So these so you just have to delete the previous one and hide this. For this, for the U sound, so we are placing this here. Now for the woo sound, so delete the previous one and hide this. Now for F and then V, so delete this and hide the previous one. Now for this L and D, drag this in. And hide this. Now for this C, D, and make sure you hide this. Now for this C, D, X, K, V, drag this in, delete this and hide this. Now I'm just going to collapse the mouse and collapse the face. So let's zoom out. So I'm going to save this. So I'm just going to select a bone here. So this is the front hair, so you can put it somewhere here and select this and put it somewhere here as well. So I think this is the back hair, so I'm going to bring it somewhere here. This is the front hair. I'll be putting it the same place where the back hair is. And I think, okay, this is the back hair, that's the back hair too. So I just put all the rigs there, and I think this is the right eyebrow. So let's just put that there. I'm going to zoom in more. So this is the left eyebrow, so I'm going to put this here as well. Then this is the eye, the right eye, so I'm going to put it here. The left eye, I'm going to put it here as well. This is the left ear, so let's put it somewhere here. And the right ear, let's put it here. So this is the head. This is the head knob. I'm going to put it like somewhere here below the nose. So this is the front ear. This doesn't matter wherever it is because we don't have that. So this is the nose. I'm going to put in it here. This is the mouth. I'm going to shift it forward and put it somewhere here. You can shift it up a little bit. So I'm thinking somewhere here is okay. So this is the head. I'm going to put it here. And then the face, I'm going to put it here as well. So I'm just going to save this. And once you go back to Cartoon Animator 4, I think it's actually loading. So once you go back to Cartoon Animator 4, we've already rigged it, so let's just save the character. So I'm going to replace the previous one, save, and yes.